Greetings. Welcome to QueenElle LLC. This is QueenElle. Thank you so much for joining me today. This video is regarding Tarot 101 Major Arcana. So, what is Major Arcana? We have the cards in the tarot deck. They're divided among the Major Arcana and the Minor Arcana. So, the Major Arcana cards, I have some separated. This is my Modern Witch Tarot deck. They're the cards that have basically a title at the bottom defining or depicting what the card represents. And then we have the Minor Arcana cards, which are divided among 4 suits, if you want to use the playing card vernacular, but they're divided among the, and sometimes the wording's a bit different depending on if you're using a deck that is maybe derived from an older time frame or just a different theme for the deck. But the decks are divided among the Pentacles, the Cups, Wands, and the Swords. Those are the 4 suits of the tarot deck. And so you'll find sometimes the wording is a bit different depending on the deck, but those are typically the 4 suits of the tarot deck. And those are the Minor Arcana cards. They go from King all the way down to Ace. If you're thinking about the number or nomenclature of how a playing card deck is aligned among the 4 suits. The Major Arcana, those cards are these that I just mentioned. So the Minor Arcana are the cards that are divided among the 4 suits, and I will have a separate video coming up with regard to the Minor Arcana and what those typically mean. Because there are so many cards in the Major Arcana, I believe there are 22, maybe 23. But because there's so many, this video would be way too long if I went into defining each and every one. So I have all of them here. I'm going to just give like a loose shuffle and just see which card Spirit wants me to focus on. And as I give more of an explanation, so I can tell you basically what they represent. Now, the Major Arcana cards, when one of those or more pops up in a reading, either that you're doing for someone else, a reading you're doing for yourself, or a reading that you are receiving from someone, that means that Spirit has a major area, a major message to relay to you with regard to something going on in your life. So as it states Major Arcana, there's a major message that is being conveyed there. So just know that, and not to diminish the energy of the Minor Arcana cards, because those cards represent some strong energy as well. But just note that if you see a Major Arcana card pop up, pay attention. Okay, so I've shuffled these Major Arcana cards, and let's see which one Spirit wants me to talk about this time. Okay, so we have the High Priestess. Now, this card, you can see it. This card, so all of the cards have a number at the top of them, all of the Major Arcana cards. The number above the High Priestess is the number 2. If you're into numerology, just so you're aware, if you were to figure out your birth number, which is calculating all of the digits of your date of birth. So let's say if you were born February 1st, 2023. So you would add all of those digits, the 2 for February, then 1 for the first of the month. That's 3 plus 2, 2, 3. Skipping over the 0 for 2023. That's 7 plus that 3, that's 10. Sometimes people will stop at the 10. If you add the 1 and 0 to make your birth number 1 digit, then you would have a birth number of 1, which is usually like a natural born leader. I can get into birth numbers and what they all mean in a future video. However, if you wanted to, you can find the card of the Major Arcana that represents you with regard to your birth number. So in this case, this one is a 2. So if you calculate your birth number and it's a 2, then this would be the card to represent you, and not to be confused by the High Priestess being depicted as a woman. The energy is still strong no matter what gender you are. It's mostly about the energy, not saying that the High Priestess is who you are. But anyway, the High Priestess is all about, as you can tell, this is someone who's sitting up on high. The High Priestess, it's, as the word states, priestess, that's someone who is essentially a queen. She's a boss. The High Priestess implies that she is, elevated. She is upper class. She carries herself with that aura of, the boss energy. And so that's what this represents. If you receive it or see it pop up in a reading, it's letting you know to embrace that energy. Okay, so now we have the star. The star has the number 17 at the top. So if you stop, let's see, with this example that I gave for your birth number, that was 10 before we whittled it down to 1. So if you kept it at 10, then you would find one of these cards aligned to you, like I said, because the cards ranging in numbers from 0 all the way to 22, I believe. So the star represents releasing things that no longer serve you, as well as absorbing those that do. It's a lot of give and take. It's about rebuilding and also letting go. And so if this card pops up in a reading, then that's what that represents. And also the star is gives you a sense of hope, also letting you know that if you are letting some things go, but just know that your spirit guides have got your back and that you'll be okay. Okay, we have Temperance. Now Temperance is all about, as the word states, it's all about balancing your energy, finding the balance within. It's all about not necessarily allowing your chakras to be unaligned. You need to find that inner balance from within. And more cards that are pulled along with this one will help to determine which area of your life you need to find that balance in. Usually you would know that whether you're pulling this card for yourself or for somebody else, they would know. But this is just, kind of a pinpointing the fact that that is what needs to be focused on. Okay, I'm going to pull one more card. Okay, we have the World card. Oh, also the Temperance card has 14 at the top of it. Now we have the World card. This is 21. And the World card is just, it's about the cycle of life, but the World card is letting you know that you're on the right track with that cycle. So whatever you're doing in your life, whatever you're experiencing, whatever track you're on, it's reassurance that you are on the right track. Okay, so those are some of the Major Arcana cards. I just wanted to hop on and just let you know basically that when you see any of those cards pop up in your own readings or a reading that you receive, just to know that one note is in reverse. These cards are letting you know that there is a blockage in the area that the card represents. And that's with any of the cards. There's a bit of interference with regard to whatever area or aspect of your life that that card represents. So that's something to keep in mind as well. So there are a few of the Major Arcana cards. I'm gonna look at a few of them. A couple that always come to mind are like the Death card. So this card is number 13, and the Devil, which is number 15. These cards, even though they, they're depicting something that looks, traumatic and disastrous, and they actually could represent that in your life. Usually, the death card is not about physical death, it's about um, killing something off in your life, something that you need to essentially dead in your life, something that needs to go away. And again, it's something where the spirit guides are um, reaffirming something that you are already aware of. And the other cards that are pulled along with that one will help to shed some more light on that. With regard to the devil card, it's essentially that there is some type of unhealthy relationship in your life, and it could be relationship to something material, relationship to an individual. It's some type of unhealthy behavior that is taking place in your life. So there could be like a codependency, which is, more in the literal sense, or it could just be that you are just, doing something in your life that is not healthy for your own well-being. So not necessarily in the physical sense, it could be physical, but mostly just for your own inner zen and chi, that it's imperative that you work on that area and on, kind of disconnecting from whatever unhealthy behavior or connection that you're tied to. So, usually the cards are, like I said, reaffirming things that we already know, but sometimes it could be more in the literal sense. So, that is my coverage of several of the Major Arcana cards, and just letting you know what that means when you hear Major Arcana or when some of those cards pop up. So if you have any questions at all, please don't hesitate to comment below and ask me, and I will be in touch. And also stay tuned for that Minor Arcana video, which will be coming up in the upcoming days. Okay? Peace. Ashe.